Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of my DM Diaries, another segment on this channel where I, Francis, as the Dungeon Master, kind of reflect on the previous session. And I bet this video is going to be a little bit shorter this week because, one, theoretically nothing much happened, and two, it was sort of designed that way because almost half of my players were pretty much gone for the week. And when I heard that half the party was going to be missing, I left it up to the players and I said, hey, I know half the party's missing, but the part where you're at right now is not as important as you would as previous campaigns have, and scenarios and circumstances just in general. So I decided to just run it, and that was the travel from this camp, or from this city known as Neil, to all the way up north towards Sophafum, which is in the mountains, and it's a 7-day, 7-day journey. So when the party initially left, they came across a few world aspects, and one of which is a bridge that has been incomplete, that has been left in the middle of the desert, in the middle of nowhere. And surrounding it is this dead zone, which is this magnetized field, sort of like a crater that is impacted by the War of the Gods when they were all fighting in this large expanse, which is why it's called the Deadlands. In the dead zone, these bridges, even though they weren't completed, they were used as markers, because every time you enter the area, you don't know you're entering the area because everything looks the same. As soon as you enter this dead zone, if you are magically inclined, like a wizard, a sorcerer, a warlock, then these areas are a little bit more woozy for you. You feel seasick, you get lightheaded, and depending on what class you are and what you decide, this can be different from anything that you have created before. So that was definitely something I wanted to entice with the players. And when they crossed, or perpendicular to the bridge, that's when they were ambushed by Lucrata. And I really did not tell the characters what this creature is until afterwards. One, because I really wish that they rolled a nature check to ask me what it is, and two, they are just, I want to say that they are hyenas or whatnot, and that's kind of what I used, but in the end it didn't really matter, so I ended up telling them afterwards. The party crosses that, and as they go up north, the weather patterns became much more erratic. There was a sandstorm, there was humidity, and then eventually there was coldness, and the temperature began to drop dramatically from a high noon of perfect weather at 70, 65 degrees Fahrenheit to really cold, like 30, 40 degrees Fahrenheit as you continued going up north. As soon as that happened, the party was very put off by this because it's super unnatural. But what scared them the most is when Itan saw that there was a flying white dragon, and the look on their faces. I wish Maddie and Matt were here, because part of me was scared, because a white dragon flying down over the party and the party just instinctively reacting and attacking it. They are, it gives them the jitters. I love it. That's what I love about it. And they hid like They hid under their carts and horses like some sort of what's that game where in order to hide from the horses, was it Assassin's Creed, where you hide on the side of the horses? It was pretty funny. And then when they crossed, they heard that they saw a hill giant fighting the dragon and winning. And when the creature defeated it, he tied the dragon up to bring it back to the Ice Hill Giant homestead, which I was looking up homesteads on Google Images, and I saw this image. Maybe I'll put it here, but it's very like Viking-like, and I think that would be really good for giantkin. And so hill giants, by definition, they're very dumb. They believe size is all that matters, and but for this time I wanted to show that hill giants are actually pretty, not intelligent 700 IQ, but they know what they're doing. They're not just animals. So because I did that, I wanted the party to investigate. And because of this, I noticed that the players that were playing other players' characters didn't really feel comfortable with it. So I just hopped in and played as the player characters. I took hold of Libby, and especially because Libby is the most adventurous and honestly the most naive of the group. So her wanting to see this homestead and to get a closer look, it was super fun, and I am glad that the party went for it, because Libby is a character of chaos, believe it or not, and the players that were here are more on the lawful side. So introducing that bit of chaos and spooking the party for a little bit was pretty fun. They investigated, dipped their toe in the water, and then when Libby realized that her pseudo-dragon would not be able to continue the investigation, Etan pulled her out of it, and because of how far they placed the cart, he is essentially cutting out the connection between her and the pseudo-dragon, which as a result cut off her communication, and the pseudo-dragon went splat because the hill giant saw the pseudo-dragon, and let's just say that Maddie will probably be pissed when she comes back. Anywho, I think that was beautiful in terms of a very tense comedic session that may or may not have direct impact on the party or the story in large, but overall I think it was pretty fun, and I hope that it was enjoyable, to say the least. So that's it for my campaign recap, my DM Diaries. I hope you enjoyed this. If so, please leave me a like down in the comments down below. Just as a reminder, we stream every Monday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, and we hope to see you there. Bye, guys.